Hey y'all, our chicks are outgrowing their little green bucket in the kitchen brooder, and so today I wanted to make a quick video to show you a super easy way to brood your chicks at home without having to build any new equipment. In fact, if you're an animal person, you probably already have most of the stuff sitting around at your house. So let's get started and I'll show you the things that you're going to need to build your DIY brooder. You're going to need some pine shavings to put down in the bottom of your brooder, and you're going to need a food and a water container. These won't last them terribly long, but they'll last while they're little, and I really like the guards around the bottom of the food because it keeps the chicks from crawling in and scratching it all out, which they will do if they have an opportunity. This particular waterer is just a screw-on galvanized lid, kind of, it fits any mason jar, so I like to use that one. I also have a plastic one, and right now the plastic one's in the other brooder and it matches the little purple feeder, but the one with the mason jar, I'm putting in what some refer to as magic water, which is a mix of apple cider vinegar and honey and garlic mixed into some warm water for the chicks, and it just does an incredible job giving their little bodies a boost and keeping them healthy and perky. That one chick that was really puny that we had when we came home, I syringed magic water to that one and it perked right up, and it's doing great now. Over here, this is going to be your brooder, and all it is a plastic crate that we have taken the clips out of the holes and opened it up, and we've sandwiched it door half to door half so that it makes that U in the middle. Then we've got zip ties, and I just zip tied these holes to each other. Now before I put in the shavings, I'm gonna grab some duct tape and I'm gonna duct tape that. Alright, so now we got the duct tape. I just wanted to make sure that these seams were well covered so no little toes would go through, and these holes. And next we're going to put in the shavings. You're not going to need a whole lot to start with. Let's see if I can scoop it in there. Here we go. You're not going to need a lot of shavings to start with, but you will be amazed at how much poop these birds make. So, we do want to start with a decent layer in the bottom. Okay, something else that's a good idea when you're putting in your feed and water is to take a piece of scrap board, or I even one year used the sieve from my kids' sand toys, and I put that in there, and that just helps to keep things up out of the shavings so they won't kick it around as much. Okay, next, it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but I took a piece of chicken wire and I have folded it almost like wrapping a Christmas gift, or down and around the corners, and it's across the top. I tried putting these little plastic pegs in here that come to hold the lid on the two halves of the crate. I don't know that that's going to work. I don't think it's going to stay, but I'm going to give it a shot. If it doesn't, the nice thing is I can always run a few zip ties through the same holes and just zip tie to the wire. Now, it's it's about time to get the occupants. Now, I have rigged up our heat lamp. That's always interesting every year where I can put that. We always seem to be moving our shelving around, but it's up now. And I have brought in the biddies. So I'm just going to pull back the chicken wire just enough that I can slip them under one at a time. Ooh, they're toasty warm. And they'll be so glad to get off of puppy pads and get onto some cozy shavings. And I'll be able to keep adding shavings as things get a little poopy. And y'all, it's crazy, but I can tell they've grown just in the past few days. They take up so much more of my hand, moving them over. There you go. You recognize your feeder and your water, don't you? Come on, new one. And their heat lamp is over at the other end, which works out nicely because they can kind of space out. If they're too chilly, they can move closer. If they get too warm, they can move away. Some people like to have a thermometer in their brooder so they measure the exact temperature. I kind of use the chicks as the thermometer. If they're cold, they'll be bunched up right up underneath that lamp. And you know you need to lower it a little bit more. And if they're hot, they'll be spread out from it. So they give you a pretty good indication. Alright, everyone's moved. I'll lower this back down. That's close to done. Now all I've got to do, I need to add a little food, refill their magic water, and I need to clean out their regular water. Then they should be all settled in. Okay, here it is. All done. We've got our container of food, our fresh water, our magic water all up on the board so that will hopefully avoid them kicking shavings up into it. And then over here, it's just room to roam. And the heat lamp. And it's so funny, they're already starting to kick around in the shavings. I think they're pretty happy with their new digs. I will come out and check on them at least twice a day. Probably more than that, because they've been emptying that waterer twice a day. So I definitely want to make sure that they stay in fresh water. Make sure that, kind of watch my chick thermometer. See how they're responding to the heat. If they're warm enough or too warm, what I need to do adjustment-wise. Adjustments could be interesting because, as you can see, I just took a implement handle and strung it between the shelf and the pallet and tied it on. That's always the interesting part, is trying to figure out how to rig the heat lamp. But right now they really do need it. Even though they're growing. They only really have wing feathers. They don't have body feathers yet to help hold in that heat. And they don't have a mama chick to brood them. So that's what the heat lamp is for. Another thing about this heat lamp, this is an infrared heat lamp. And we got this one from Jeffers. It kind of fell price point between the ones you see at the feed store and the Premier One model. Eventually we probably are going to get some of the Premier One ones because they're so much more safe. But the infrared one is nice and sturdy. It's got a small bulb in it. It's hard for them to jar that. And it's a pretty sturdy bulb. So we really like these a lot. We have one in the goat shed too, where we have the goat babies. And it's done beautifully for us. Look what has arrived. It's our chicken plucker.
Yep. I'm gonna break into it.
This didn't just come by UPS either. It came by 18-wheeler.
Yeah. It was a big shipment. I had to get it off with a lift kit.
Which hopefully means it's not too heavy for the two of us to handle.
Hold it. Like moving into a birthday present.
Woo!
Uh-oh.
Pardon us still in our jammies. I guess that's one thing that's happened with pandemic. Pajamas have become all the time clothes. That crate looks pretty snazzy.
Yeah, seriously.
Whoa.
Can you pull it all up? Pull it all
Careful.
out. Okay.
There you go, kiddo.
Clips can do.
Meryl, can you get your hands back, baby?
Yeah.
We don't want to end up smacking them. We ordered this plucker from Stromberg, and I can put a link in the description if that'll help y'all find it. We're not an affiliate or anything.
Chicken.
It's for what?
It's for chickens to knock the feathers off.
It is. That's what it's for. We decided we would really love to be able to produce all of our chicken for a year. And, ooh, that one was busted.
Yeah, this side kind of got dinged up.
And if we're going to produce all of our chicken for a year, we could hand pluck, but we have to budget our time with homeschooling and doing businesses from our home and taking care of kiddos and running the farm. We just decided it'd be best to invest in some good equipment first.
Oh, buddy.
How do you open it?
Very carefully.
Very carefully.
Hi.
Hey.
Sweet
what
boy,
did I
step back.
say? Gotta stay back. All right.
You don't.
Baby, have you stepped back or forward? Thank you.
Get the phone off. Get the phone off.
Yes, you can pull
Well,
the
let's
phone
see
out.
what's going on in here. Woohoo! Look at that.
All right, wait.
I think that could
Just
even
step
do a
back.
turkey, don't you?
Yeah, easily.
Wow. There it is. Side pulled off. And I have to say the packaging is impressive. There's a welded frame around the top protecting the drum.
Yeah, it's just sitting in here.
And of course we're already brainstorming what that could possibly be used for. because
not the sort to throw anything useful away.
this is how our brains work.
Table or something.
It's something. We were kind of blown away by how big this thing is. I mean, we ordered a larger one because we knew we didn't want to end up with one that was just too small, but whoa. Yeah, we're set for turkeys. Easily.
Easily. Does it need the water?
I don't think so. Meryl, step back. We're going to fire it up. Don't put your hands inside. We're going to fire it up and see how it looks like.
You gonna come see it?
Don't put your hands inside of it. Wow. See how the bottom's spinning?
Why?
Because that'll throw the chicken around against the rubber fingers and pull the feathers out. Can you believe how big these birds have gotten? This is crazy. They easily growing twice as fast as any other chicks we've had before.
They're cool. Aww.
But the brooder's working nicely. And I filled water and topped off food just a little bit ago, and I'm gonna have to do that again. Sweet Poppy's feeling very clingy. Oh, what's that cough for? Because I've put her mama out. Because she's still insisting on nursing off her mama, even though she's not a baby. And she has babies due in just a few days. So, it's making her feel particularly cuddly. Because she's missing mama. Aren't you? Yeah. Hopefully, I can convince the little ones to come over here in a minute, and I can show you their funny little antics that they've been doing lately. Hi. You go, Izzy. You go, Izzy. Well, she's got her hiney pointed at me. Her ligaments are starting to soften, but they're still there. Yeah. She may be losing a little bit of her mucus plug though.
There's Hugo. Hi, Hugo. Wanna play?
Your feet are all muddy from going out in the pasture. I'm gonna be filthy. I'm gonna be filthy, my friend. Just nasty. Hi. Do you wanna play? Do you wanna play? Izzy, you wanna play?
Isabel, do you wanna play? Come play. Yeah, you wanna play? Come here.
Let's see if he'll get on me.
Easy.
And now I really understand why goat yoga is the thing, y'all. This is too funny. Don't chew my hair. Coming up, Hugo? Ah, that's my head. I'm gonna have blood on my head. Oh my goodness. Oh, almost. Almost, buddy. Try again. Almost, buddy. Y'all, I think I have mud on my face. Hi. Hi. Two babies. Uh-oh. Oh no, easy, okay? Oh my goodness. Oh, there's no telling what I look like on my back. So funny. Coming back, Hugo? Come here. Here, let's scooch up so they can see that. Yeah. Hi. I'm covered with goat prints. I have goat mud on my back. Oh, Hugo. Oh, Izzy.
Hi, Stormy Mama. How you doing? Your babies are growing.
Oh my goodness. Are you trying to get my shoulder? Okay, go for it. I'll be real still. I'll be real still. Go for it. Just a little. You can't get it from there. You gonna try? Funny babies. Funny babies.
Is he gonna try?
Hugo will try. There goes. There you go. Whoops. You're getting good at that. Here you go. Are you stuck? Am I giving them too much attention? You're okay. I wanted to do one more shot of these guys to show you how much they've grown. This is also a really good opportunity to show you what I mean by using the chicks as a thermometer. When I came in this morning, they were all kind of away from the light, so I switched it off. And when I came back out to check, you can see where they are. They're kind of all smooshed together, so that told me, okay, we need to get this light back on. In the afternoons, it's definitely getting to where they don't need that light. I wish I could show you them all around the feeder like they were this morning. Y'all aren't gonna let me get one of you, are you? That would completely freak you out. So they're just almost 2 weeks old at this point. Maybe if I back off and they have their light on for a minute, they'll start to spread out. Because this does not give you a good idea of how much space they're taking up in the brooder. At this point, when I feed them, this morning when I filled up their feeder, they can't all fit around it anymore. So that tells me we're getting to the point where I'm either going to need to swap out to the big feeder. I don't know how well it's going to fit in here. Or I'm just going to need to get a second one. But they're going through feed and they're going through water 2 or 3 times a day. They're eating plenty. Yeah, you're warm enough and going back to sleep. We'll see plenty of you in other episodes, but y'all, they have grown so much. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. This morning was the first time that I did an official almost 12-hour separation of Stormy with her kiddos. They went in one stall last night and she got to stay out, and this is what we got. She gave about a cup and a half, and for her first full milking for a full first freshener, that's amazing. And she's been a doll on the stand. She's been absolutely wonderful. So I'm really thrilled to know that we've got one of our babies from last year who is really starting to click off the boxes of things we want to see in our herd. She is sweet on the stand. She got pregnant easily. She gave birth easily. She's a fantastic mom. So these are all characteristics we're trying to hang on to. We don't have a registered herd. We're trying to hang on to goats that are very good family milkers, that interact with people in the family well, like our children, and give good milk. So we're thrilled about that, and hopefully the next time around I'll show you a little bit more content with that. You got to see the chicks go into the brooder in this episode, us make sure the brooder was ready for them, and then just this last snapshot of them, seeing how big they are at nearly 2 weeks old. They have grown tremendously. We have some other big projects coming. Tomorrow we're hoping to process our 5 extra Dominic roosters because they've turned into real bullies with my hens. So we'll try and get some footage of that and just kind of our reaction to how doing our first processing goes. That could be really, really interesting. Don't worry, we won't show any of the super gory stuff because we're going to be adjusting to it ourselves. But there's so much more to see. I hope you come back to hang out with us again.
I love you.